Good evening all, and welcome to another video on All Hail the Ale. Tonight we are going back down to Cornwall for another Verdant beer, and it is a beer I've had before, but the first batch Verdant had to, well, not recall, but they had issues with, shall we say. Now that beer, it was, you could, and I'm going to do the old stereotypical air quote, say it was lively. And a few cans throughout the summer decided to go pop. That was a bad thing. I did have a couple of cans, none of which did go pop mind, but I did keep them cold. But they were still extremely lively. And the beer in question is this one. It is Neal Gets Things Done by Verdant, as I've already said. And it is an IPA. What else? It contains some good hops. It contains Simcoe, Citra, Mosaic and Nelson Sauvin. And they do tell you on the can that drink fresh, hops fade fast. It's a vegan friendly beer and it contains very simple ingredients. Water, malted barley, oats, hops, yeast. And it does contain gluten. They interestingly list hops twice on the ingredients list. Just noticed that. Water, malted barley, oats, hops, yeast and hops. Right there at the bottom. I doubt you'll be able to pick it up on the camera, but you might be able to, you never know. A little typo there on that, but maybe, who knows. Anyway, let's crack it open and see what we get. Now the last can when I opened it, it did go everywhere. Even though it's been fridged. This has been fridged and it has not gone everywhere. It looks as it should. Let's pour. It's pale, just like I remember it, but importantly it's nowhere near as lively. The last time it was proper lively, to the point where I poured about a third and the glass was full of head, and it wasn't down to a bad pour either. Now, from memory, it had a little bit of something in the bottom of the can. I just want to make sure I get that. Now we've got a bit of head, but look at that. That is hazy, lightly carbonated, but still got a reasonable head. Well, I say reasonable, that's a solid 2-finger head. It's fairly loose. Smells great. It smells dank. And I expect that because it's got Mosaic. That's nice looking glass beer. Certainly infinitely better than the last one. Like saying, I poured it into this very same glass. The beer was here, the rest was head. And that's not great, but it is what it is. Yeah, it was lively. Perhaps a little too much yeast in the can. We've got a decent one here. It's been kept cold. Let's try it. Let's get rid of the head first. Gives a good clue. Yeah, the flavour is just like I remember it. Really, really stone fruity, ever so slightly dank, little bit of citrus coming through, and a bit dry. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's got a nice mouthfeel to it as well. It's nice and wheaty, and it's solid, and it's full. And like I say, a dry finish, and it's pleasant. It really is pleasant. Let's get the last of that out of there. Get the goodness out the bottom of the can. We don't want to waste it. Yeah, like I say, it's typical Verdant. It's chewy, it's full of flavour. They can do no wrong in my eyes. They really can't. If you like your IPAs, which I'm pretty sure most of you watching this video do, and you get a chance to try this, or indeed any Verdant beer, give it a go, because you will be rewarded with lots and lots of flavour. Like I say, you've got the dank stone fruit flavours here, you've got Citra coming through in just a little bit, that just to kind of sweeten things up a bit, and it's very nice indeed. And like I say, a dry finish, which is, yeah, not as dry as like a brut IPA, but it's just just there, like that little bit of dryness. Sometimes you get that sweetness just sitting on the back of your tongue, around the edges. None of that. It's like dry. Almost like that, and I hate to say it because it makes it sound like it's a bad thing, but you know when you've been licking an envelope and you get that dryness on your tongue, that kind of dry, not the horrible flavour, but the dryness. It sounds a really bizarre way of putting it, but that's how it is to me anyway. But the flavours are king in this beer. They're not in your face, but they're there, and you've got complexity, and I like that. So let's give it a score. Now I paid £5.65 a can for this from Otter's Tears up in Stoke-on-Trent, and in my humble opinion it's worth every penny, every last one. So this one here, Neal Gets Things Done, with its trippy artwork on the can and the really tasty beer inside. Would I buy it again? Well, this is already a repeat purchase, so it stands to reason I'd buy it again because I already have. So, how much more? Well, it's got quality flavours. It's got really nice hop profile to it, and you've got that dry finish. It's slightly juicy, it's chewy, it's everything you want from a sensibly ABV'd IPA, and it's 6.5%. I failed to mention that at the beginning, I think. So yeah, it would be rude, absolutely rude of me to give it anything less than 4 3/4. It's got everything I like. If the only thing I'd say, keeping it away from a 5, is just that little bit more in your face hop profile. But like I say, and by the hop profile I mean like ramp it up. It's there, you've got lots. I mean, think of it like a musical spectrum. You've got a bit at every range. I just want more of it. Hey, I like them hoppy, shoot me. But 4.75 is an absolute belter of a beer, and Neal Gets Things Done deserves it. So ladies and gents, boys and girls, this rather tasty glass of beer has been Neal Gets Things Done from Verdant. I've been Nick, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye.